just sit down at lunchtime, pull out your lunch, and wonder to yourself, what the hell was I thinking this morning? What the hell is in my lunch pail? And it comes to you. It's that lunch bag letdown. You can't remember why you packed what you did, or why you even thought of putting all of that into that lunch bag to bring to work that day. But you did, and with that, you are now stuck with it. Well, in the automotive world, we get lunch bag letdown all the time. And for a lot of us right now, as we've all seen the release of the brand new Ferrari Luce, not Luce, Luce, is a brand new electric Ferrari. Let's just put it that way. It's an electric Ferrari. But really, is it made for your market? And is it made for what everyone wants? Well, Ferrari seems to think so. But when they promised us a fully electric car, they never said it was going to be an ALV, an active lifestyle vehicle. They never said it was going to be like a sedan, a CUV. No, they just said it's going to be a brand new electric vehicle for the market. And when that unveiling happened, it all hit us. Just like sitting in the lunchroom. We got that lunch bag let down. And with it, we had to ask ourselves, why? Why did this happen? And why does this continuously happen in the automotive industry? Well, today, AutoLooks is going to be taking a look at the lunch bag letdowns of the automotive world. Welcome back to the AutoLooks podcast. I am your host, as always, the doctor to the automotive industry, Mr. Everett J, coming to you from our host website at autolooks.net. If you haven't been there, stop by, check it out, read some of the reviews, check out some of the ratings, go to the Corporate Links website page, big or small, we have them all. Car companies from around the globe, all available in one direct location, that is the autolooks.net website. The AutoLooks podcast is brought to you by Ecom Entertainment Group and distributed by podbean.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email over at email@autolooks.net. So like I said in the beginning, lunch bag letdown. We've all been there. We've all gotten to work, sat down at lunch, and thought to ourselves, fuck, what the hell did I think this morning? Well, that happens in our favorite industry, the automotive industry, constantly. And it's not something new. No, it's something that has become a part of the automotive industry, and we've seen it many, many times before. From the release of the DeLorean, to the Ram Revolution, to the new Ferrari Luce, and even back in the early 2000s, one of the biggest ones that really inspired me for this podcast over 20 years ago, the Jeep Commander. Yes, I remember originally reading an article in Motor Trend magazine about the release of the Jeep Commander. And when they brought it out for all the dealer groups to showcase it to them, they thought, okay, we're finally getting our 3-row full-size SUV to go up against the Ford Expedition, the Chevy Tahoe, the Suburban. We're finally going to have something for Jeep. Like Dodge has the Durango, but Jeep is SUVs, and SUVs are king in the early 2000s. But when Jeep decided to bring around the Commander and showcase it to the dealers, they actually thought it was a joke. They stood there stunned, thinking, okay, where's the actual vehicle? This isn't it, right? And the funniest thing is, you go back and read some of our early articles from the AutoLooks website, dating all the way back to 2006. We go over the Jeep Grand Cherokee, 3rd generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, and how it borrowed stuff from the Commander concept. But when it came out, it was just that. It was a lunch bag letdown yet again. The Commander did that when it finally came out. And like I said, those dealers are standing there, stunned, looking at it, going, why? Why could you do this? Giant corporations bring everyone together. They do their focus groups. They get their designers. They get the technology. They get their engineers, and everybody all goes in together to build a brand new project. You have to remember, designing a car isn't just going there and designing a car. Now, for myself, that's like everyone thinks. You know, you look at Gran Turismo and those amazing vehicles they build for Gran Turismo World. But you have to start asking yourself, can that actually work? And as I actually talked about in a previous podcast, one of the biggest podcasts out there that we have, the Paw Patrol episode. Think about it. They sleep in the front of their vehicles, but then they turn into vehicles with diesel engines. Where are these engines? It's literally just mind-boggling. And with that, you have to ask yourself, how did we get here? And how did all this get put together? Well, the original designs, when you see them, are amazing. And one of the best vehicles to actually go from concept to reality and maintain that beautiful look was the last generation of the Nissan Maxima. If you go back and take a look at our website, we have pictures of the actual concept of it, okay? And what the Maxima gave us and what came out is nearly identical to each other. We fell in love with that car. Kind of like the original Dodge Viper. Sure, the hood was a little bit taller and our windshield wasn't as short, but the proportions and full appeal of that vehicle was what was embodied in the concept. That's because when they designed the concept, they designed a big enough car to fit every single thing in it. Now, unlike that Jeep Commander, when they designed it, they took 3-row seating, 4-wheel drive capabilities, and hard, rugged Jeep designs of that point in time. You have to remember, this is a point in time when the first generation Jeep Compass and Jeep Patriots were out. These big, blocky things. So Jeep needed to stay with that design theme. So with that, they brought the Commander in and used that theme, just like they had previously done with the Grand Cherokee. Hard surfaces. They did it. And they did it because they needed to fit every single thing in to one place. And in the end, they gave us our Grand Cherokee mixed with the Patriot, mixed with the Wrangler, with the off-road capabilities of Jeep and 3 rows of seating. They made a versatile vehicle to go everywhere that we demanded it to go. Unfortunately, it didn't give us looks that we wanted. We wanted sleek and inspiring. We wanted something to go up against the Suburban and Expeditions of that point in time. Hell, Nissan had the brand new Pathfinder Armadas and Toyota had the Sequoias. You look at those and sure, the original designs were a little bland and boring, but they weren't far off from what they originally conceptualized to the public. Kind of like the Ram Revolution. Now, the whole electric Dodge Ram has been completely kibosh. And I know I just said Dodge. Yeah, in my mind, it's still a Dodge Ram. Ram as a separate brand, taken away from Dodge, just, I don't know. It's still taking me a while to get used to. But the Ram Revolution, a fully electric Ram pickup truck, was amazing. If you look at the original concept of it, it's like they were inspired by the Cybertruck, but they wanted to give the world a Cybertruck that everyone would love. They took its hard edges, cleaned them up, and brought in natural aspects to its design. Actual headlights and taillights, running boards, wheel wells, even cowl hoods. They did it all. But when they released the Ram Revolution, what was supposed to be the production model electric version of the Ram 1500, the tailgate and the front grille were the only things kept from the concept. They literally took a 1500 and said, what are the good aspects of this vehicle that we can merge onto the pre-existing Ram 1500 and still sell it? And that's what they did. They created a couple extra features. In all reality, we were waiting for that Ram Revolution concept to hit the road. That's what we wanted. That is what everyone was waiting for. And just like when the Cybertruck came out, or even the original F-150 or Rivian R1T, that Ram Revolution could have been the revolution that Ram needed. Now, the electric vehicle market has taken, well, a big kick to the nuts in the past couple of years, and a lot of car companies are pulling away from it. Ram has completely kiboshed the Ram Revolution, and hell, even the Ram Charger has been put on hold, as a brand new hybrid 1500 will be coming out, but not utilizing the Ram Charger name. No, the Ram Charger name's actually going to be used for a full-size SUV from the Ram brand. They're going to bring back the original Ram Charger, but not in its original form, not as a kick-ass two-door off-road vehicle that we had in North America up until the mid-90s, and they had in Mexico up until the early 2000s. Yes, go and check that. South American markets had the Ram Charger for a lot longer. Why do these things happen? We overhype things. That is one of the biggest lunch bag letdowns. Like, the Ram Revolution was a design flop, similar to that of the Jeep Commander. They all went completely different from what they showed us. But there's also technological issues. Famous ones for that get promoted as a technological marvel and get taken down by the industry was the Tucker Torpedo, a vehicle that promised so much and yet got taken down so quickly. And when the first vehicle came out, it didn't even run. Hell, The Simpsons parodied it for the Homer to try and showcase the funny aspect of bringing that first vehicle out to showcase to everyone in the world the brand new American vehicle, the Tucker Torpedo. And the thing barely even ran. Yeah, we kind of get that. A lot of concepts get pushed out so people can see them. They don't actually have an operating drivetrain. Hell, they barely even have a power unit underneath them. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. But ones that kind of take a step back from what they originally were conceptualized and were overhyped. Edsel is famous for that. Edsel Ford, okay? The brand new Edsel brand. It's going to be one step up from Ford, going to sit below Mercury, and everyone's going to want to buy an Edsel. We're all going to drive them. They hyped these things up so much that dealers got on board, people signed promissory notes, and everything was all set in stone for this vehicle. And then they showcased it to the world, and everyone's just like, what the fuck is that? It was essentially a stun moment, just like that Jeep Commander with all the dealers. They were staring at it, looking at it, going, what? This isn't what we signed up for. This thing's barely different than any other Ford product on the road. And that grill, oh my God, that grill, we can't even get over that. That is a face only a mother can love. Yeah. Well, Edsel was just proof that overhyping a brand new product, getting tons of people on board, and then not delivering on your promise with a design that people love. See, they went for what everyone wanted in a vehicle, but forgot that you'd still need to put it inside of a package that people will love. Pontiac did that with the Aztek. Great vehicle when you think about it. Hell, the thing can go camping. Cooler that can pop out of it. You can click a tent onto the back of it. Now, again, you can do that with a lot of pickup trucks and even Jeep SUVs right now. But the Aztek was one that could literally do everything. It was made for the adventurer. The plastic body paneling was actually added on because knowing that people are going to go into the off-road market, they're going to damage these things. And you don't want them to damage their powder-coated paint. No. Plastic. Because those scratches, they clean up a lot easier in a plastic bumper than a steel bumper. So they threw a whole bunch of body cladding on it. Their unfortunate thing is they put all of this brand new stuff that everyone wanted, the market demanded, into this amazing package. But just like the Edsel, they didn't deliver on its design. And that's what you have to do. You have to deliver on the design. And that's what a lot of these do. But then again, you can get lunch bag letdown through a financial point. DeLorean did that. And unfortunately, it wasn't DeLorean's fault. It's just he was trying to build too much for his company, do too much at one point. His entire platform got changed. His engines got changed. He wasn't able to put all the features he wanted into it. By the time the car came out, it was underpowered and problematic. The original owners of DeLoreans had so many issues with them. It was an amazing looking vehicle. See, John Z. DeLorean delivered on that design, but past the design, its quality went to crap because the finances weren't there to back it up. And we got a major lunch bag letdown with that one. where DeLorean was poised to become the brand new American sports car manufacturer, even though they're built in Ireland. They were going to showcase a brand new automotive corporation to the world from the man who pioneered muscle cars with the GTO when he worked at General Motors. But with so many issues with his vehicle, due to financial constraints, that lunch bag literally let us down more than once. And in the end, it was enough to pull that entire company under. But then you have to get to the lunch bag of today. A Ferrari Luce. Amazing concept of this. Now, what I'm about to say is you have to take it as a full automotive perspective. For myself, I don't just read articles and information from North America, even though that's where I am. No, I read stuff from Asian marketplaces and South American marketplaces, European marketplaces, Middle Eastern, African, and even Oceania, to try and find their markets and what people there love. See, when you look at the Ferrari Luce and its designer, its designer makes stuff from Apple technology, That's why they always say, you go online, you can find a million memes about this. You can find one where the Simpsons bring it out just like the Homer. You can find one where somebody flips it over and shows you where the charging port is on the bottom, or how you can use it as a mouse. Or even from some of the websites I occasionally read, where they add in other car companies' logos to the front to show how the Ferrari Luce can become anything else on the market. Hell, it could become a Honda just as much as it could be a Ferrari. Now, we all had lunch bag letdown on this, because Ferrari promised us this amazing electric vehicle for the 21st century. This is what was going to save Ferrari and move it into the future. Now, Lamborghini has stepped back from the electric vehicle race. Hell, even companies like Rimac are starting to have issues with the electric vehicles. Hell, people with deep pockets are still looking at the internal combustion engine or even hybrid vehicles. So like the Lamborghini Siam with its supercapacitors allow it to be just one step up from where we need to be. Luce, it wasn't a vehicle designed for everyone. See, the top people, I wouldn't say myself, but a lot of the automotive people out there, including its former CEO, are all looking at it at the wrong perspective. In a design element, this is complete lunch bag letdown. The most simplistic design you could ever think of for a Ferrari. Ferraris are not simple. They're elegant. They're sexy. For God's sakes, how many vehicles do they have registered as works of art, which are protected? Ferrari makes vehicles that everyone wants and everyone loves. The Luce is not that. It is complete opposite of that. The most basic lines that even a 3-year-old can draw. Flat, boring rims. Hell, even the front spoiler is something that it's not new. Hell, the new Dodge Charger has that. And here it is on a Ferrari. So what do I say? Don't knock it completely. Yes, this is one of the biggest lunch bag letdowns of this century. This and the Ram Revolution. But, like I said, I read stuff from markets all over the world and get an understanding of markets all around the world. So understanding consumers in China, America, Great Britain, Australia, South Africa, hell, even in the United Arab Emirates. Finding people and consumers within all of those markets and seeing what designs they like, what products they like, what features they like. How tied are they to nostalgia? How tied are they to power? How tied are they to brand new products? Well, for all of us diehard Ferrari fans out there, we're all tied to the nostalgia and history of Ferrari. Luce does not fit into that at all. There's nothing about its past and about the overall appeal of a Ferrari that resonates with that car. But there is a silver lining for it. It's new. It follows all the simplistic designs required to be a perfect electric vehicle in the marketplace. And 3, it's not coming for the diehard Ferrari fans. Ferrari has noticed that they've been losing sales in the world's automotive marketplace, the number one automotive marketplace, which is now China. They're losing sales because in China, they're making a major shift from the internal combustion engine over to electric and hybrids. Now we get it, Ferrari has done the hybrids. Well, Lamborghini's got the hybrids, but something along the line of Luce. One, doesn't pay the luxury tax because it's not a specific luxury bred vehicle for a specific segment of the marketplace. It's not a car for billionaires. It's a car for millionaires. So one, luxury tax does not apply to it in China. Number two, its design fits with all the other electric vehicles in the marketplace. Number three, the Chinese love new products. You ever wonder why you hear about a brand new Chinese car company coming out nearly every month? Hell, look at our website, AutoLooks.net, the Corporate Links website page. How many car companies exist in China? And then look at the dates we started posting them. Hell, I got about 30 more that we got to get posted to that site. Just because they keep adding them faster than we can add them onto our system. There's more and more and more of them out there. And they keep finding all kinds of different parts of the market. Because somebody like Dongfeng, who's been around since the early 2000s, can't play off nostalgia. They want to sell into new markets. They got to sell new products. That's why car companies like the Xiaomi are selling like hotcakes. Or you get stuff from like Volkswagen, a legacy brand that tried to sell itself in the Chinese marketplace on its legacy in a brand new market. We get it. China has been around thousands of years. But in today's marketplace, it's growing, it's changing, it's evolving, and they want what's new, not what's new from the past. Why do you think selling Mustangs in China is not a hot commodity? But selling the Mustang Mach-E can be a hot commodity because it's new, it's forward thinking. Their marketplace looks at it. There's not a lunch bag letdown with it, but there is a lunch bag letdown to the company. The lunch bag letdown can bring down car companies, can destroy their brand image, and even set them back years. Something like the Commander, that set Jeep back years until the Wagoneer finally came out. The Tucker Torpedo took the company under, just like the DeLorean. Pontiac Aztek, well, Pontiac completely got out of the marketplace and just went straight over to the Touring. They didn't even want to take a second chance at it. Even its Buick sibling, the Rendezvous, didn't even want to kick around for an extra couple years. It was such a bad letdown. They happen all the time. Lunch bag letdown is famous in the automotive industry, just like it is everywhere else. It's like getting a new iPhone and looking at it going, it's the exact same as mine before, with a little bit better camera and a different design. But it's the same fucking thing. They just wanted to sell you something new. For a marketplace like China, you can go right ahead. For us, maybe not so much. The lunch bag letdown scenario in the automotive industry happens a lot. And it's going to continue to happen. Where vehicles like the Ram Revolution, the Ferrari Luce, are going to keep coming out. They may let us down at the initial offset. You have to remember the Mustang Mach-E let everyone in the Mustang world down. Like, how can you do that? But you have to remember, it wasn't the first time the Mustang ever let us down. Remember the Mustang 2? Even with its King Cobra edition, everybody still looks at them today. If you're a diehard muscle car fan or even Mustang fan, you look at the Mustang 2 as it's just a Pinto with a V8. Really, that's what it is. Now, that platform eventually became the higher-up Fox platform from the 1980s and into the 90s. It was one of the most dominant and great drag racing Mustangs of all time. But we had to have a little lunch bag letdown to be shown that silver lining at the other side. For us, sometimes we just got to go with it. We got to look at that lunch bag, say to ourselves, we let ourselves down this morning. We packed the wrong stuff, but we're still going to eat it. We're still going to accept it, and we're just going to go and move on. Because essentially, in a month from now, how many people are going to be talking about the Ferrari Luce? What's the next automotive product that's going to let them down? People are fickle in that sense. consumers will just move on. And Ferrari knows this. Eventually, something like that will move in. And you have to remember, it's not Ferrari's first time. If you go back and listen to our GT Evolution of Ferrari podcast, you'll learn there's a few other shooting brake and sedan models, limited production, released by Ferrari that kind of took away from the Ferrari image. Even before Enzo died out, they were working on a Ferrari sedan. Of course, Porsche was working on a sedan back in the 1980s as well. Everyone was considering entering new markets to try and gain access to a bigger share of the financial pot. And with that, we got to have a little letdown at the beginning. Because in the end, we all got to eat, right? You're not just going to let that lunch go to waste just because it let you down. No. You're going to pull everything out of the lunch bag, and you're still going to eat it. The Ferrari Luce will still go on. It may not sell as well to diehard fans, but it would still sell. The Commander stuck around for a few years. The DeLorean was around for a few years. Hell, the Aztec kicked around a lot longer than most of us thought it would. It may be lunch bag letdown at the beginning, but all around, in the end, it might just be the letdown that we need to shake up the marketplace. So if you like this podcast, please like, share, or comment about it on the major social feeds or streaming sites that you found the AutoLooks podcast on. Like us, share us, comment about us. Go to the Facebook page or the website, autolooks.net. Send us a little comment at the bottom. Tell us at the bottom here what's going on and what you like about the AutoLooks podcast or autolooks.net website. And give us some insights into some of the lunch bag letdown vehicles that you've experienced in your life. Like the Chevy Citation, the AMC Gremlin and Pacer. There's so many letdowns in history, more so than the ones we talked about. But these ones just kind of pick out those little points that you really need to stand on. Technology, overhyping, or hell, even new markets. It's all part of the letdown so that we can all grow together. And after that, stop by the website, read some of the reviews, check out some of the ratings, go to the Corporate Links website page, big or small, we have them all. Car companies from around the globe, all available in one direct location. That is the autolooks.net website. The AutoLooks podcast is brought to you by Ecom Entertainment Group and distributed by podbean.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email over at email@autolooks.net. So for myself, Everett J., the autolooks.net website, and the Ecom Entertainment Group, strap yourself in for this one fun, wild ride that the AutoLooks podcast and this lunch bag are going to take you on.